What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the MMC Ocular Max Probus, their version of a masterpiece Brawl. So this came out a couple weeks ago. We did show you the combined mode already. I wanted to get through and show you the Assaultus upgrade kit, and we did look at this guy in his combined mode, and actually we saw him in the other modes too, but I haven't showed you transformation or any of the other stuff. I do want to show you the box today, only for one reason. Normally I don't go over the packaging, but it does say Pig for Life Reviews there. And the reason it says Pig for Life is because he does their video manuals. So if you go to the Mastermind Creations channel on YouTube and you watch the instructional video for example, Probus, you will see that it's done by Pig for Life. So a lot of people didn't know that. I just wanted to mention that. He mentioned it too, but I just wanted to mention that he does do that. His instructional videos are very well done. So if you need help transforming, I highly recommend watching his videos. So we're going to take a look at this guy. He does come with quite a bit of accessories, so we're going to take a look at all of those. Here's everything that he comes with. So you do get this gun here, which is for his robot mode, but you can also fold this down, and then he's got a little handle, and that's going to fit in right here. And it does rotate, and also it articulates up and down. Right? You can also mount this. So this is the cannon. You just fold these pieces down. You'll see there's slot there, and that fits in right there. You really want to push that one in. The back panels tab in too, right here, but it's really this front one that makes it firm. So you really want to push down here, and that'll make this more secure. And then you take these cannons and you plug them in on the sides. And again, you can see it's coming out. So just push down on the front, and that'll make it more secure. Mine doesn't fall off. I know some others have had it where it's really loose. Mine's pretty good. You know, it doesn't come out. You also get these little antennas. They are a rubbery plastic. At first I was like, oh god, I don't want to put these on because they're going to break. But I've actually bent them, and I've run into them with my hands, and they don't break. You just stick them in those slots right there, and they actually look really nice. I like them. Alright, we'll just leave that off for now. There you go. So there's the antenna. It looks pretty good. And this does come off if you push it off, but I find that mine isn't too bad. We'll get these lifted up. And then the last bit you get, which doesn't do anything in this mode, is this ratchet. So this is a replacement ratchet joint. This goes into Incursus, their version of Onslaught, and this actually is for Volatus. So it's a stronger ratchet for Volatus because Volatus is a little bit heavier, and if you put the gun in his hand, it gets a little bit loose. So it doesn't do anything with this review, so we're just going to set that aside. So here is the tank. I mean, the number of features and details on this is just absolutely incredible. You might have noticed I switched back to the white background. I noticed that the gray was kind of darkening my reviews and darkening the lighting. So we're putting this back. We'll only use the gray one if we've got a white figure to look at. So that way you guys can very clearly see. But here is the figure. You got all sorts of detail. You got rear view mirrors there. They actually painted it with that reflective, so it looks like it's actual mirror. You got this little detail up here, whatever that is. Maybe it's a periscope. I don't know. You've got opening hatches here. You can't fit anything inside there, but you can open them up like that. You can rotate this. Again, I showed you you can do that. You also have these rails here. I guess these are exhaust ports for the tank itself. And they've got these rails, and they're bendy plastic. They're the same plastic as this. I have touched and grabbed these several times. It's just unfortunate it's in a bad spot because it's right where you want to grab this for transformation. So try not to grab them, but I'll just let you know it's pretty sturdy. It's flexible enough. It's not going to break. Same with these. They feel like they're flexible enough. I wouldn't push it, but if you can avoid it, avoid it. But if you don't, I think it's okay. You do get articulation here on the cannon. It goes up and down. You can put this in and out, but that's really meant for the transformation. You have some detail back here. Actually, these are supposed to be open. You can have it open or closed, whatever you prefer. But I think they're supposed to be open. So you can see all that little detail back there. You got the gray, silver, white paint detail. You got the tail lights there. I really love the detail they put on this. And then you got the painted tracks. They're not movable tracks, but you do have wheels. So it rolls very smoothly, very nicely. And the bottom, very clean, nice and clean. Looks good all the way around. You have little headlights here too. You have little hooks here. I don't know why they took the time to include this. These little utility hooks. It just seemed like an extra detail that was not necessary, cost extra plastic, and doesn't really add much. At least for me, those hooks don't do much, so I'm not sure why they included them. But there's really all the detail. If you rotate the tank, it's on a ratchet, by the way, a nice strong ratchet. You get a little bit more gray detail back here. Oh, I knocked this off. Just put that back in. It does tend to come off, but again, I showed you, if I turn it upside down, it's fine. It's just if you hit it with your hand, it does come out. This does rotate all the way around, which is very nice. And you can work this up and down. And that's about it for the tank mode. I think it's a really well done tank. Let's bring in another vehicle for comparison. So there he is with the Fans Toys Magnum, and pretty good looking. I mean, taller, longer, wider, nice big tank. Now let's get into transformation on this guy. So go ahead and actually you can leave this here. It's not going to hurt anything, but take this one off and just set that aside for now. You'll put that back on later. Go ahead and push the cannon in. And you can leave these on here as well. So everything that's on this, the turret, you can leave on there. So go ahead and lift up here. You'll see there's that. There's actually two ways to lift this up, but lift it up on that. That gives you some separation, some space to work and start pulling things apart here. So go ahead and pull these arms out. They're just tabbed into the sides, and you can pull them out of the front and the back. So they're just attached on this and then tabbed in back here. And once you get those out of the way, you can start working on that. And actually just open this up as well. I'll give a little space to work. All right, next we're going to untab this arm. So go ahead and push down here. That's going to let you release this part here. And then you're going to untab from here, and it's pretty tight. So you just got to give it a little bit of force, but I feel like this is a very sturdy bot. It doesn't feel like it's going to break or anything like that. All right, and then here we're going to kind of finish this off. So go ahead and fold that tank tread, tiny little tank tread. And Pete mentioned this in his review. They gave such an attention to detail that they had that little tiny tank tread, so you didn't have a hole in the bottom, which is interesting. I go ahead and fold this back, and that's just going to sit down on back of the arm like that. And then you can rotate the hand and push the arm forward so it's more in the center. All right, so there's one arm done. We're going to get the other one done off camera. It's exactly the same. All right, now that we have both arms done, we can start working on the legs. And this is interesting. You have a little tank Gerwalk mode or whatever. Go ahead and you can pull the legs apart here. And we're going to pull this downwards. There's a nice hidden little button here. I love how they hid this away. It looks like it fits perfectly into the side. You can't even tell. Actually, when I first got this, I transformed this without instructions and a hard time finding that button. But go ahead. Actually, you can also lift this up. So lift these panels up, and then you can go ahead and get that leg down. There's actually two steps there. You're releasing it from here, and then you're also pulling the rest of that knee out. Okay, and then that's going to tab into the front, so you can see there's a tab inside his knee, and that's going to fit into the front. So you got to get that tab in, and you can feel it go in. It's not the tightest tab, but it works. And then same on, then you're going to take the foot out. So go ahead and rotate this foot. Oh, before you do that, close this panel, and then rotate the foot out. Same back here, you're going to rotate that down, and then this is going to accordion back up, and it's going to sit right in here, just like that. And then you get this straight, and then once you get it straight, push this panel in. That's going to lock it down. Now you can have this part of the heel up or down. I prefer down. It just gives a little more stability. You don't really see it anyway because it's on the back of the leg. All right, and that's really it for one leg. So let's get the other leg done off camera. I'll be right back. And now that we got the arms and legs done, we can work on the chest and the head. Go ahead and open up this chest piece. And you're going to see here's the head peeking through. You're going to push that from the other side, or you can push up here, whatever's easier. And going to get that to rotate all the way around until it sits flat. And go ahead and rotate the head 360. Actually, I should do that later too. But all right, and then you're going to get this panel down. You push this in. Push this top panel down. It's going to peg in right here and here. Push these out to the side. And then peg that in. And then push these forward. These are going to be the little chest cannons that he has in the cartoon. For these hooks, you can kind of put them down. I think they look better down, but you can do whatever you want there. All right, and then the last piece here is going to be the backpack. So we've got to get this rotated. So go ahead and rotate here. And then we're going to push this button here. Get this down in. And then rotate all the way around. And then if you want it flush up against his back, you can, or you can leave that spot. But push the button and it'll get it flat against his back if you like that look. All right, and then the last piece we're going to do, it's an alternate mode. So we'll just leave him like this for now, and then we'll show you that cannon. But here he is in his robot mode. Really nice looking robot. We'll put the G1 cartoon over here so you can take a look at that. And we'll do a quick 360. You can see he's got that pretty good looking head sculpt there with the brown face mask and the orange visor and the orange head. Pretty nice looking. All that same detail that you saw in the vehicle mode shows up here. Pretty clean. I mean, not a lot of kibble. You have these antennae, but I don't mind. They don't bother anything. They just sit back here. Same for the gun. We can take the gun out, but it doesn't bother anything if you leave it there. So all you have to do is get these in the hand, is flip this down, and you get that handle. Open up his fingers. They are individually articulated. We'll talk about articulation in a bit. And just stick that into the back of the hand, and there you go. There's his gun. So all in all, really nice looking robot mode. I do like these, but if you don't like them, you can just fold them back and leave them back there, and they hide away. It doesn't bother anything. I like that they included that because that is in the animation model, so you could have that if you want. Just gives them a little extra, firepower. Let's take a look at the alternate backpack mode so you can get the cannons on. So go ahead and press this button here, and that'll give you that little extra boost. Pull these out. Try not to hold these, but it doesn't hurt if you do. I just try not to stress them any more than they're already getting stressed. Rotate this around. Open up this panel right here, and then push that back in. You can't get any flatter than that. You can't push this button back in because you got that little tab sticking out there. That's okay. Take this part, and you've got the tab, the slot right there. That's going to fit into the tab on his backpack. Let's go ahead and get that pegged in there. And it is pretty firm, so you got to really give it a good push once you get it down and in. And it fits very well. There you go. And there you have him with his alternate cannon mode. I think that looks really nice. I like it. I like that they gave you a way to store that and to have that stay on. So for articulation, you have the head on a ball joint. You get the side-to-side motion. And you also get up to there and down to there. You do get a rotation at the shoulder all the way around. Sometimes it opens up this chest. That's a little bit irritating. Shoulders up to there, down to there, and then in and out. So you get a lot of motion there because there's two joints. One here and then one here. So a lot of movement there. You get a rotation at the bicep all the way around. You get a double jointed elbow, gets you all the way up to there. There's a joint here and here. It does collide a little bit with this. Oh, sorry, I guess that got pushed forward. Sometimes that gets moved, but you want this in the center. Rotation at the wrist. You do have a fully articulated hand, although the fingers only have a single pin, so you can't really get the pointer finger, you get the curled finger. And then the thumb is on a ball joint. But he does hold his weapon very securely. Continuing downwards, you have a rotation at the waist. Pretty much unhindered. If you have it down Yeah, no, pretty much unhindered. Oops, get that back in. You have a hip skirt here, and the leg can rotate up there. And there's a hip skirt back here, but of course it collides with the backpack, so can't get it too far back from there. And then to the outwards, it's on a friction joint, gets you up to there. Plenty of movement on that leg. Rotation at the waist I gave you. There's a ab crunch that gets you down to there. Really nice ab crunch. Looks good. Rotation at the thigh. You get a single jointed knee, and it doesn't get past there unless you take this panel out that you folded in earlier. Then you can get it all the way up to 90 degrees. So I'll give that to them. Get 90 degrees of bend. You just have to remove that little securing tab you put in there. I don't know if that's official or not. I just put that in there because I think it looks a little bit cleaner. All right, continuing down, you have ankle tilt all the way up to there. And again, it's the same ankle tilt you get in the fully combined mode. So you get out, you know, pretty much up to there. In, not much. You get a toe tilt, and you get an ankle rocker. Although you have to unlock this if you want to use that, but it's good. Nice big feet, so you can get some dynamic poses. You can get him really moving. Again, I'm not the best at posing on camera, but he does a lot. He really does a lot. Now we'll get him back into his combined mode, and I did show the combined mode in my full Assaultus review, but we'll show you how to get him into that mode. So first thing you can do is open up these panels here, and that'll allow you to pull the feet down for combined mode. You want them all the way down, and then you can close these up like that. All right, next we're gonna kind of get these legs back inside. So go ahead and open up these panels here, and get the leg unpegged from the front, and then push this down, and then this is where we're going to use this button here. So press the button and slide it back in. All right, same on this side. Go ahead and unpeg the front, push the leg in, and then use this button to collapse it the rest of the way. Once you get that, you can peg this all together. So just line everything up, peg the feet together, and give it a nice squeeze. It should all squeeze together. All right. Now we can work on the top part. So we got to get these arms back the way they were. So go ahead and open up this panel here, like we did before. Rotate this all the way out. Rotate this panel out. Then we're going to take and unpeg, or actually repeg the arm back in. And make sure you line it up, otherwise you might have trouble. There we go. And then go ahead and rotate this upwards and get that pegged in. And then back here, you're going to slide that in there. Okay, there's a little T-tab right there. All right, so that's the one arm. That's the other arm. Same thing. Now we've got both arms back to normal. Go ahead and lift up this chest and just fold these guns back forward and leave those there for now. Lift up this panel all the way up, and you should be able to get it over the head like that. And now we want to pull this shoulder forward. As you can see, it's sort of tabbed in back here. Open up this chest piece, leave that down. Oh, we have this a little bit backwards. So go ahead and rotate the chest around, and then get these hip skirts up. Actually, you can just open up these, and if you need a spudger, go ahead and get a spudger and get this tab back in. Same here, open this up. If you need a spudger, open that up, and then get these tabbed back in. Okay, now you can push this down and push these back in. So you should have like something like this with the chest sticking out. Then rotate these arms down. pull this chest away, or the cannon away, and then it's going to give you some room to work. Just leave it like that for now. Alright. Now that we have it, it should be flush like that. I didn't have this pushed all the way up, so if you don't, you should see the buttons now have ejected out. And that means you didn't have it. I didn't have it all the way pushed down. And now we got to take care of this head. So the head's going to rotate back. And if sometimes this panel gets caught up here. Rotate the head all the way back. Rotate this down. This panel here, open up and fold it in, and then fold it down here. And that's just going to sit back there. Right. We forgot one step. So go ahead and pull these back out. Unfortunately, you have to get these two tabs into the sides of the arms. So push them together and then fold these down, and those will just sit right there. And if you have it in right, it should all be tabbed in together. There we go. Now it's all tabbed in. So you should have that tab there. So you can see kind of how it's going to articulate. Oops, our foot came apart here. So here's the foot. And last touch, you're going to get this folded downwards. And this should tab in, so there's two slots there. So go ahead and push that in. Right, here we have it into its fully combined leg mode, and looks pretty good. It is much wider than the Ferrado, which was kind of weird for me at first. I didn't like that it was bigger, but it is beefy and chunky. And you do see here you've got the foot articulation, so it does go back and forth. It does go. It doesn't really go forward or backwards. You can do a toe tilt and ankle tilt, but I did show you in the fully combined mode, the foot's not really a problem. The issue is the knee joint, that onslaught, or their incursus figure. But this is, as far as it goes, combiner mode is pretty nice. It's well done. You can cover up these holes here if you like. You can open up these panels here, and that'll just fold down there and cover up all that bottom stuff. But the real advantage of doing that is now you can attach to this. So you can see there's two tabs and there's a slot, and the shape fits perfectly. So you just push that in there, and that sits right on his back, nice and clean and away. And then you can take his gun that he used in the robot mode, and we probably could have just left it here, but there you go. That fits there. Or if you don't like that, you can point it downwards, you know, kind of out of the way. I never took these antennae out, I just left them there. So final thoughts on this guy. Well, we'll start with the positives. I think he's got some really nice detail all throughout, both in the vehicle mode and the robot mode. I just think they paid a lot of attention to detail, and you can tell by things like, you know, these chest cannons, the paint detail, the tank itself looks really nice. All these little details here, the antenna, which you didn't need to do. They came as separate pieces. These little hatches here. I mean, there's so many little details on this guy. It really makes it a fun figure. Very intuitive transform. I will be honest with you, I didn't even look up the instructions. I looked at the instructions that were in the box, but didn't use the transform it because they aren't very good instructions. I didn't watch Pake's video, which I recommend, by the way. If you need help in transforming, use Pake's video. But because it's so intuitive, it's very fun. You end up having a fun time transforming this all three modes. Again, you know, just now for this video, I didn't need any instructions. Just very intuitive, very fun, very well done. The design is very well done. And that's speaking to the individual bot mode. Even the leg mode is nice. The problem has to do with the incursus, right, and his ratchets. That's really where the problem lies with this entire set. But this guy individually, just absolutely recommend it. Negatives wise, there are a couple tiny little things. This chest doesn't peg in very securely. Sometimes it pops out as you're manipulating it, but not a big deal at all in my opinion. A few other tiny little gripes. Sometimes when you're trying to get this backpack positioned properly, it does pop off, but not a big deal. And then the last thing is these are actually meant to be upwards and just supposed to have that, but I find that that little tab it's a little bit more secure with the full one. So just a little finicky down there. But those are very, very minor gripes. I really like this figure a lot. I definitely recommend it. If you're looking for a masterpiece version of Brawl, I think this is a good one to pick up. Now, there'll be a lot of questions about the unique toys, which one's better. I'm not even going to bother with the Zeta toys. Honestly, their versions of these guys were just not meant for robot mode. They just weren't well done, and they look odd. But unique toys, on the other hand, it does compare, and it might actually be able to hold up a competition. So we're going to do a versus on that coming up soon. Might even be the next day right after this one. But you can take a look at that. That's really it for this review. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.